Do one of these.
Take one.
Crib death.
There's no
Crib death. That's my vocal warm-up.
Fibromyalgia.
Yeah. Crib death.
That's not
Well,
nice.
this is the 4th Abyssal
Episode
Lair.
number 4. Welcome,
Are we doing
one
it
and
now?
all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
on.
Yeah.
We're just, you know, it's,
We're
we
going.
keep it
Break it
casual. We keep it generally casual.
Cash, yeah. That's
Yeah.
How about we go down the line and
Yeah, okay,
have them
go down the
introduce
line.
themselves?
Names,
Rank, serial number.
rank, and favorite ethnic food.
Ooh.
Oh, switching it up.
All right, I'm Adam. I play bass and let's say Mexican.
All right.
Safe choice, I like it.
Yeah, let's see.
My name's Theo. I play guitar and do vocals, and my favorite ethnic food is Thai.
Very nice.
Spicy.
That was mine.
Yeah. You can pick that one.
No.
I'm Colin.
Can't be
I do guitar and vocals, and mine was Thai food, but now I'm gonna say Lebanese because that hummus.
That's pretty good, too.
Scott. I'm Scott, play drums, and I'm going to say Mexican food.
Nice.
It's still good, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
still good though.
What about you guys?
Bookended by Whoa. Can't turn it around.
I just want
We're
to know
the-
what food you like.
Well, I like.
Let's talk about food, girl.
All right. Whoa.
It's all
I
right.
got it.
We
I
have.
got it.
I'm like. I've been eating.
It's kinda
If you have epilepsy, don't watch this episode.
Yeah. You'll die.
ready.
Oh, we
You-
just need
We
just
can
need
just
a little
plug it in over
strobe.
here. Lebanese.
Okay, now we can continue.
Lebanese.
What's your
Wait,
favorite
wait.
kind of foods, man? Quid pro quo.
Ethiopian.
Ooh, that's pretty good. I've had that.
When
I didn't
have
know
you
that.
eaten Ethiopian? How have you not eaten Ethiopian?
I had an all. I went to an
You guys have had have you
all
tried?
you can eat
I was wondering where-
Ethiopian buffet once, which
Where-
is a weird
it's like-
concept.
Which made you feel bad about Ethiopia?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which you
They're
go,
like,
Like-
they don't have these.
There's so many people in Ethiopia that don't have food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
didn't know they
ironic
had it
thing
kind
about
of
an
food.
Ethiopian restaurant is you.
It's because they ate it all because it was so good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Anyway,
Ethiopian.
We're getting off topic already. It's
Gary,
fantastic.
you
yeah.
have to
You have to answer also.
you have to
Food.
I don't pick favorites.
Oh.
You're one of them.
All right, that's fair enough.
All right.
Well,
Just draw a line.
all right, yeah. So the Gentleman of Wayfair. I guess just to start out, I kind of want to know about your musical influences. You know, because I've noticed just with reading lyrics and even just like the melodies you use, there seems to be like a lot of Western kind of influence.
Well, so far.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just off of a observational.
From
level.
the layman's.
Yes,
layman's
yes.
thing. We have a lot of different influences. The Western stuff just comes from the concept of the album that we're doing currently.
Okay.
Yeah. Which we're gonna change like on an album by album basis.
Yeah.
But I mean, Colin and I grew up in Wyoming, so it was kind of a good
yeah.
place to start.
Yeah,
We've kind of grown up with a lot of that Western.
learning about
Wild
that
West
stuff
shit.
like in school and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
that's cool.
What about bands? Like
Bands.
what bands
Yeah, that-
influence
that's-
you?
Bands, man.
Adam, let's go down the line.
Yeah.
I
Oh
like that.
boy.
Name every single one of your releases.
yeah, all of them. I come from more of a technical death metal background, so I try to incorporate that into what we got going on. But I don't know, like I'll just pick bass players. Dan Briggs from Between the Buried and Me, and then Alex Webster from Cannibal Corpse are like my two big names.
Cool.
Crazy finger dudes.
Isn't he playing with Conquering Dystopia?
Alex
Maybe?
Webster?
Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
No one's sure.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah. That sounds great. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the project with Jeff Loomis and Alex
Yes.
Ringer and Keith Merritt.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
did hear about
also
that.
just played bass on the new Nader Sadek, which is
Oh, he did?
yeah, which is really good.
Travis.
Travis Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan of Nader Sadek.
Sweet.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, it's great.
I like a lot of different stuff. I don't know, like just recently been listening to a lot of like I mean, always Between the Buried and Me, like that's always been a constant. Like there's never like a time where I don't want to listen to any given Between the Buried and Me
Yeah.
album. Yeah, they're a good band. Revocation lately has been that
New
band
album.
is just too damn good.
That Deathless.
It makes me mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like older stuff. I came from a background of a lot of like post-hardcore music, so I like
Oh, okay.
Refused a lot. That's like one of my
Sweet.
favorite bands ever. And
Sorry, interjection.
Yeah.
Did you read that whole post from the guitar
I
player?
did, yeah.
I was like,
That was very strange.
yeah. So I guess they fired.
They
the
fired him
guitar
even though they're
player?
not like active.
But it was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a year
and then he
ago.
just
like 2
posted
years ago.
something
Yeah.
on Facebook. It was like a whole
There's-
Diatribe,
thing.
yeah.
There's nothing that's classier than posting band drum on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
where you should hang your dirty laundry.
Definitely.
To let it dry.
Well, if you want to get those hits on Metal Injection, yeah.
I don't know if Refused is really going for hits on Metal Injection.
Yeah.
I'm good then.
Yeah, definitely not that one either. But I
Patrol.
saw them live a couple years ago at the Roseland. It was amazing,
The
incredible.
reunion one.
Yeah, it was so good. But yeah, that's kind of.
I would agree with all those bands. Mastodon, I like a lot. I even like what they're doing now, even though I don't even compare like Blood Mountain to.
Yeah. I was gonna ask if you're like. New.
Yeah, like I think they're kind of their Four Elements albums are kind of a thing, and then they
Yeah.
kind of started doing more of a rock thing, which I'm into.
Yeah.
As long as you're not like, I want to hear The Wolf is Loose.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
like, no, they're going to sing now, which, good for them. Do what you want to do.
It's just so much more comfortable.
A lot of
What else? Opeth is good. That was like one of my first like metally metal bands that I listened to.
Yeah.
metally metal.
Because
With rallies.
I came into metal super late.
Same.
So, I mean, I don't think I listened to metal until sometime in college, and metal then was like, dude, Avenged Sevenfold is really
Yeah,
heavy.
you just knew a Atreyu record, dude.
That's
so good.
That's pretty gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
But now I've been into a lot of stuff. For some reason, I've been jamming a lot of Cattle Decapitation last
Nice.
week, which is a gnarly band.
You don't need a reason.
Gnarls
to
Barkley,
jam
yeah.
that.
It's a gnarly band. But yeah, I think that's a couple.
Yeah, I pretty much just listen to whatever. I mean, if I want to listen to metal, I usually fall back to listening to Necrophagous Epitaph record.
Yeah.
It's good.
Basically, because, well, all those dudes are sick, and Hannes Grossman is real good. Super
Oh, yeah.
inspiring to listen to, and there's this one record I like to listen to from a band called Extraction. It's like a jazz fusion band
Oh,
with
yeah.
Dennis Chambers on drums and Victor Wooten on bass.
Yeah, I heard that shit.
So
I've
that's
never heard that.
super cool. It's
It's really
really
good.
experimental and proggy, and
Extraction.
it kind of like takes me to a place, especially if I'm at work and I'm doing something I'm not liking. I'll pop that in, and I kind of just like relax and just check everything out that they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know, other bands too. Like I like early Dillinger.
Nice.
I really used to dig on Meshuggah a lot. I haven't really liked a lot of their newer stuff
Oh, yeah,
lately.
I have, yeah.
I still respect it, and I still think they have some cool licks in there, but
Mhm.
I think they really hit it out of the park with Chaos, Fear, and Nothing. Those two records back to back
Okay.
were real sick.
Especially those drums.
Oh, dude.
Damn drums.
Yeah.
God.
Didn't that spawn Metal Foundry or something? They
Yeah,
went and
they-
took
Yeah.
Thomas's drums and sampled them into Superior Drummer or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean,
So
Early-
basically, yeah. No, sorry.
I was gonna say like early bands for me when I was really young, like high school, was I really liked Deftones a lot.
Hell
So
yeah.
Ed Cunningham is a sick drummer
Love
too, and then
Deftones.
Stephen Carpenter and them mesh really well.
Yeah.
And you got to keep it real with some Pantera.
Of course, yeah.
Reinventing.
Like you fucking listen to that shit.
Okay, I respect. I listen. I have. I've had my phases.
Every guitarist has that go through the Dimebag.
Yeah,
phase.
dude. I mean, you can't not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't not.
You can't not.
Good English.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
The best.
Shreddy Shredder.
The goodest.
The gooder.
So I was gonna ask about you guys' album,
Uh-huh.
new
Yeah.
album,
Yeah.
that you guys have had like
Debut
Had-
album.
for.
It's been
It's
done
been
for
ready,
a while.
right? Yeah.
Are you just releasing singles?
We're gonna release.
We've been teasing it a little bit, but yeah, it's coming out early next year, early 2015,
February.
possibly
And
February.
you
But-
mentioned it was a conceptual album. So
So this is
Yeah.
the Wild West and specifically the Black Hills Gold Rush.
huh.
Nice.
So if you've ever seen Deadwood, you pretty
Oh
much
yeah.
TV
Okay.
show Deadwood, you pretty much know what it's about,
Cool.
essentially.
Yeah. Like the playthrough song that we're doing, The Gym. That's the name of the saloon.
No, that was Captains of Industries.
We're not doing that song.
Yeah,
We were gonna do a song called The Gym, and it's really good, and you'll have to wait.
yeah, because we changed
Because we were
it.
so good, we're like, wait,
No,
hold
we
it
can't play
back.
this
What
one,
are we
it's too
doing?
No,
Can't give
Captains
it
of
all
Industry is the song that we did the playthrough for, and that's it's about the building of the railroad
Okay.
through the Wild West, and
Sweet.
about migrant workers and slaves and stuff, and how many people had to die to get that thing done.
Yeah.
Well, and also with the concept record idea, we tried to bring in some instruments and some sounds to evoke that. There's a little bit of cowbell on there.
Harmonica.
We didn't get any harmonica on there.
Didn't any harmonica. We couldn't find any toothless hobos to help us out.
Yeah.
Because you really need the gums on the
jug.
harp.
Yeah, to get the good sound.
To
yeah.
get that train a coming blues.
But yeah, Colin played some lap steel, and we got some piano on there,
cool.
and yeah, there's just a lot of fun stuff.
Little bits of flavor.
little spice. Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be something that we explore. I think with albums to come is like a different time period.
Sweet.
So each album will be its own little, and each song also is kind of its own little vignette, kind of little mini story encapsulated in one. Sometimes from first person, sometimes from
Just one aspect of the concept.
yeah, and some of them are true stories, and some are kind of just inspired by true events
Yeah.
type stuff.
Who
But
writes the lyrics?
We do.
we do,
It's a team effort.
yeah, Alright.
Colin and I.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's been some input in the past from other band members.
Not
but it's-
me.
Yeah, not this guy. That's for
I
sure.
don't do words.
I can't sing and I can't write lyrics worth shit, so I stay out of that.
But he plays bass like a some bitch.
Son bitch.
Can we curse on here? Is that...
No, you
It's
can't.
the
Oh,
internet.
No,
shit.
it's the internet.
Yeah.
Society.
Your mom's
highly
gonna see it and be real disappointed.
Oh no, Vicky.
What's up, Vicky?
Yeah, yeah.
We're cutting in that part about the Sebian, so you can just
Oh no.
figure it out.
Don't Google that.
Yeah.
Don't
Were you guys
Google it.
recording that whole time while you were saying
No.
that? Oh, that would have been
Not
great.
at all.
You should have been, yeah.
He wouldn't have done that.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
think he
You're doing
might
the
have-
eye thing where you look over here.
And then, yeah.
Is he telling the
So yeah,
true
concept
thing?
albums.
Yeah, concept albums. Yeah. It just gives us something to write about. Because, like,
Yeah.
if you just sit down and you're like, I'm going to write a song, it's like, what are you going to write about? There's
Yeah.
so many things you could write about.
This
Yeah,
girl doesn't
seriously.
like me.
Yeah, she said no
I'm
when I asked her
mad.
to prom. Yeah.
Yeah, I think especially in metal, ideas are pretty watered down. So at this point, it's like fuck it, just either make something up or write about a historical event that's
I
already
mean,
happened.
history is
Yeah.
pretty fucking metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just
Absolutely.
gives you a lot of things to pull from. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brutal shit that happened.
Yeah.
Like we have a song that we have on our Facebook page called "The Long Drop." It's
Yes.
about like a
Blackjack Ketchum.
Blackjack Ketchum, who was a bandit who was captured and then hung, and when they hung him, the rope was too long, so his head popped off.
Oh.
That kind of shit just happened all the time.
You can Google
Yeah.
that. There was a picture of the dudes
That
who are
was
like,
like-
here's his head, we did it, good job everybody.
Yeah.
It's awful.
That was
really
like
weird.
Monday football kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, people would come out to see it. Yeah,
right.
yeah it's
Like,
like
oh,
they didn't
his
have
head
pay per view,
popped
so
out.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Nobody has pay per view anymore. What am I
You guys-
just saying?
Pay per view.
That sounds like an old man. Yeah.
What about
Get that up.
shows?
Get those Betamax
Shows? When are we playing shows?
Yeah.
Well, depending on when this is released, it may happen in time.
Just say
for,
the number of the day.
November the 8th, which is this Saturday as we're recording this.
Okay.
We are opening for Intronaut and Ancients.
Their anniversary tour, right?
10
Yeah,
year.
Intronaut's 10-year anniversary, playing songs from every album.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
That's
good.
gonna be
And
awesome.
Ancients is a really sick band also
Yeah.
that a lot of people haven't really discovered yet.
They're signed though, right? They're
Yeah,
Yeah.
But just a lot of people don't really know about
Yeah.
them. And they're super good. Two Eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ancient.
Yeah. Other than that, we don't have any other ones solidly lined up right now.
Mhm.
There's a couple of things like I think we're playing on the 21st at the Hawthorne with
Something's getting cooked up.
something's
Oh,
getting
yeah.
cooked up. We
If-
can't.
If you're older
Same.
It's a little
people,
tease.
Yeah.
It's a little tease there.
And then something in January that's also kind of in the works. So
But you are playing shows actively.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
some shows.
And this is your whole band. We've never actually had the whole band.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've never got the
podcast.
entire band before.
So big-
On one couch.
Yeah,
no?
it was
Yeah.
barely, but we got it.
Yeah. We got a couple of large gentlemen in this band,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
feat.
Big boys.
and an average sized one, and a little guy.
That was gonna be the new name. Was
And
gonna
a
be just
little
He plays drums like a
Three-
giant, though.
3 big boys and a little guy.
Yeah.
That's the next album.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, album/sitcom reality. show.
It's
Yeah.
all just based in a tour band.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tour band couch.
Yep.
So, name stuff.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
can
I
talk
want to get
about
to.
that.
So there's a band
Right.
in Denver called Wayfarer, and they kind of came around when we started, and they play kind of, I've listened to them a little. It's like black metal.
It's like Agalloch style, like black
Kinda,
metal,
yeah.
Post.
I don't want to talk bad things on them.
Yeah.
But they had that name as well.
Some people like it.
And they got signed recently to Prosthetic. So instead of like having some weird, we're this other Wayfarer band.
Yeah, legal shit.
Or legal shit, yeah.
We just decided to change it now since we were about to. We got 2 new shirts that we got coming out. We're gonna like do all sorts of like a couple music videos probably for the album and all this stuff. We didn't want to have it all say Wayfarer and then be like get this cease and desist letter or something, you know.
Yeah.
So
Seriously.
we changed it.
Yeah.
After some time.
What does it mean and what is it?
Yes.
It is Velaraas.
Yeah.
Which,
Velaraas.
Give us the spelling.
Velaraas.
Velaraas. Velaraas. I can also use it in a sentence if you'd like.
Yeah, please do.
Go for it.
Velaraas is the new name of our band.
It's
Alright.
a combination of 2 Sanskrit words, and both those words mean a lot of different things. But Vela, most importantly, means time, which goes with our theme of like, holy schmoly,
Are we holding up?
we're holding up.
We're recording.
We're recording.
Oh.
Yeah, the other. all the other stuff's recorded.
So Vela means time, and it goes with the whole like each album is a different time period thing. And then Ross actually only had 1 A, but we added an A because that's cooler. And it just, if you only had it with 1 A, everyone was like Velaraas.
Oh yeah.
And we're like,
Velaraas.
and it just kind of looks,
Velaraas.
yeah, it looks better
It
with
makes
2,
the
I thought.
pronunciation
Yeah.
more clear. And stuff.
But that means a lot of things. It means like to roar. It means love. It means like calamity. It means all these different crazy.
Sanskrit's
cool
a
things.
weird language.
Yeah, that's
Doesn't
why
exist anymore.
It didn't make it,
Yeah.
but it's
People
cool.
got confused.
Makes no
back
sense,
then.
yeah.
So then the combo of that, and then that's definitely that no one has because it's a
Yeah.
made up word.
We
Yeah.
came up with so many
Nice.
ideas. We were like, oh, that'd be cool.
What were some? I'm curious as to some that almost made it.
Sure, yeah.
Wicked Pissa.
No, that was never actually the running.
That's
gonna
the
be
name of our
That's
bar
our
band.
grindcore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our grindcore.
Oh,
Oh,
grindcore
yeah.
band,
That's a
yeah.
great.
Wicked
that's a great-
What's the name of our,
Wicked
of our
Wicked
jazz
Pissa with like
or-
AH at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an Australian style band.
Yeah. What's the
It's
name of our
super-
What's the
Is
name
it-
of our jazz combo? I don't
I
remember.
thought it was the Rusty Zippers.
Oh yeah.
We have a lot of bands
Rusty
that we're in that
trombone.
no one knows.
Yeah.
about.
Oh, this is just
What was the
Just
ones that
goofing
almost
around.
made it?
There's
serious ones.
the Red Shift or Red Shift.
Redshift.
Which was I thought it was pretty cool, but there was actually a band that was like not active anymore, but they were from Portland.
Yeah.
Called the Red Shift.
It's like an alternative rock
They
band.
really like hadn't done anything for like a year, but we were
Like,
like,
no.
that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Viator,
Viator was kind of close.
which is like Latin for traveler.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what was the other? The Divided Line, which is like apparently a fairly well known like prog band from Canada, I guess. Yeah.
The Left Path.
The Left Path. Which
Damn.
is just a
The
little.
Left Path
so
was super brutal because it's all like LaVey Satanism.
Right.
like-
Yeah. The left hand.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
left hand path. So
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if we're Toots
We're just
Brutes.
not-
Yeah.
It's a cool name. So if you're out there, there's one for you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kids.
I really, for a solid 3 days, I was like, dude, Maharaja.
Oh no! Yeah.
I liked
I was
it.
not
I
in
just
favor.
liked writing it. I was like, Maharaja. I loved it.
It's just not no.
And then I was looking up pictures of Maharajas and
And they've
stuff.
got like the
Yeah.
and the jewel and
Yeah,
everything.
big jewels and shit. Yeah. No.
Look up what the king of the Maharaja's name is, because it's like 40 syllables long.
It's so
It's
long.
so good.
It's like his father's.
It's like Maharaj, Maharamaja
Yeah.
Hata.
Something like that,
It's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That
But,
would have been a good band name.
yeah. Just completely impossible to
So
spell.
you guys went with the same sort of region, or stuck with the Sanskrit.
Yeah, kind of.
Middle
It's just
East,
we were
or-
looking for something we could use to base the word on that wouldn't have like obvious meaning. Or,
Yeah.
like,
I thought you had something going with the darker gray. I
dark-
thought that was-
dark
yeah.
gray.
Oh,
A
I
darker gray.
Excuse
yeah,
me.
not
My
the
bad.
darker gray. There are other darker grays, but we're
This
a
is just
dark-
a.
I don't know what your guys' attachment is to colors, dude. Gray, and you guys want to do red shift.
I don't know, man.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
I
so
can't. I
Just
can't
call
do
yourself colors.
like
Just colors.
colors, numbers. Just can't do that.
there's
There's a band called
formulas.
Numbers.
King 810. Oh yeah.
There's
You just interviewed someone in a band called Numbers, and they were like, "These guys are numbers."
There's formulas that you just
That's funny
You
shit.
meant numbers as like a not
Letters.
specifically that word, but
like
Right,
some
right, right.
41 for
Yeah.
example.
Yes.
Vowels.
King 8 10.
Yeah,
or
there's-
whatever.
yeah.
That could be like their
Horrible band.
Bizarro band of numbers. It could just be letters.
letters, just the name letters. That'd be
And they all
nice.
play different instruments.
There's a lot of those
They just
plurals.
swap one to the left.
It's like Bronx and mariachi, El Bronx. You know about that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they play mariachi songs. It's like their like alter
Oh,
ego
right,
band.
right.
You never heard of the Bronx? Is
Oh,
like
I've heard of them.
Yeah,
They're
hardcore
like,
punk
yeah,
band.
yeah.
And they have a band that they like tour with where they just play mariachi songs. It's called Mariachi El Bronx. And they all put on like mariachi outfits and play like instruments and play mariachi
It's just
songs.
actual.
Yeah, then they
Yeah,
like
that's
open
real
for
deal.
themselves and stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's pretty smart.
Cool. Yeah.
Damn.
So who does the leads?
Who does
Who does the leads? We both do.
You share it. You.
It's
Dual
kind of a
leads.
dueling thing.
Yeah, a lot of dueling.
We have like
Yeah.
kind of our own styles.
I do more sweepies, and he does more tappies. That's our.
There's
shred
just a
style.
lot of noodling.
A lot of noodles. It's like a
yeah.
ramen restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys go about writing songs?
Um.
Do you
It
Guitar
depends.
Pro or do you just?
Oh
Oh,
no.
no.
Yeah.
It's
don't
all
do that.
like
Do it the old-fashioned way.
yeah. Maybe we'll
As a
have
room.
sometimes we'll have some riffs, and then sometimes you just like make it up at practice and
Uh-huh.
kind of go with it from there.
Sometimes one of us will come with like basically a whole song. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of whatever works. Yeah.
But it's mainly you two.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but
Well,
we just come with the guitars and then they.
They definitely contribute a lot.
We
Yeah.
we'll work the rhythm section once we have something to go off of. But yeah, getting started, I just do root notes. Scott plays pretty. Well, I don't think there's anything standard that Scott plays, but it's pretty chill in compared to the final version. And we kind of talk amongst ourselves, trying to get locked in with the rhythm section to really bring out the guitars and stuff. So
Yeah, and then sometimes they'll be doing something that, and then we kind of change what we're doing a little bit to match better, you know. So it's pretty fluid.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
jam,
everyone kind of
jam-oriented
arranges
process,
it.
Kinda, or
Not exactly, like, because we don't just kind of like just jam. Like
Right.
we never really do that unless we're just goofing around.
well, yeah, which
Yeah.
do all the
And
fucking
Wicked
time.
Piss
Do a lot. That's always a great time. But yeah, we have like parts that we can just kind of like play. Like I have this part, and then he'll have a guitar part, just riffs, you know. And it's just a matter of like, well, that could go into this could go into that, and then we also would say like, we need a part like this here. Sometimes that comes up also.
Right.
Yeah. But
It's like this part is cool, but not in where we have it in
Yeah.
this song.
Yeah.
So cut it, put it in something else.
Okay.
it's just kind of part by part, I guess.
But you guys just remember all the riffs up here. Huh?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I write out my parts.
He does.
Oh, okay.
I tab out like all the guitar riffs
Yeah.
and then take that home. And then when I'm at home, I'll rework all my shit
Yeah.
to make it a little more interesting so it's not following the guitar. I can't stand when bass players are the simplified guitar player in the band.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I always try to make it more interesting.
Totally.
I
But
can
yeah,
definitely tell.
my writing definitely takes place at home though. So. 'Cause,
More
you
of
know.
a solitary process.
Well, these guys don't shut the fuck up ever, so they're always talking or playing guitar. So I
If
can't
I may
ever
say
focus.
something right now.
excuse me 1 second. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
definitely do the homework.
Awesome.
How long have you been a band? Or this solid group?
This current lineup, a year.
A year.
Oh yeah, this current lineup a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wayfair's existed for 2.
Yeah, 2 years.
Scott, you're the most recent member,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So when did you join? Like, how did that come about?
Well, I met them through my buddy Travis because he was recording their EP, and their
Okay.
drummer
Demo thing,
Yeah, okay.
had their current drummer at the time had something else going on. He was just busy with life or whatever was happening, and they had hit me up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they have some cool shit. I'd like to go check them out." And so then we went into the studio, and they played me some riffs, and then I sat down and checked them out, and then recorded them, and then played some more riffs and recorded them, and then wasn't able to join the band because I was just working a ton and doing other stuff. Then Jason Borton came aboard and recorded the full length and
Mhm.
played some good shows and
Mhm.
kind of steadied up the foundation. And he ended up parting ways about a year and 2 months ago.
Something like that. Yeah.
About the same time I've been in the band.
Mhm.
Then
It just worked out, and the timing was good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was already familiar with a few of the songs,
Yeah.
and I knew they were cool dudes and everything. So.
Yeah, if you listen to the demo tracks on our Facebook page, I almost said MySpace. He's actually
On our
playing drums.
Friendster profile.
Yeah, you're on the demo.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
stuff's like 3.5 years old or something. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that took a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, actually-
all
Was
recording
that
just seems to take forever. for
Was
us.
that you guys went? Where did you go to record?
We
that?
recorded with our friend Travis.
Oh, okay.
Noble up in.
Ripcord.
Von?
Yeah, and then runs a
At the time, I was working with Travis in his studio, so their
That's how we met out.
project
Oh, okay.
was the first project I had worked on. And then me and Scott had been in a band previously, so we knew each other. So it kind of just all it came together. They ended up needing a bass player at some point, so I jumped in. And then when we needed a new drummer, I hit up Scott, and he was already familiar with us and stuff, so it all just made sense.
Yeah.
Adam and Scott know each other
Yeah.
Carnally.
from being
Inside
from
and out.
touring
The rhythm
together
section.
Oh yeah, they spent a lot.
because
Yeah,
they're all
tour.
real musicians.
What
and
band were you
stuff.
guys in?
Uh,
Alright, sorry.
I'll say it.
It's
You
those
gotta
lie
say,
beneath.
oh,
Oh,
you're
okay.
supposed to
Oh,
go
that's
1,
right,
2, 3, and then say the same
Oh
time.
yeah, we should have done that.
Yeah.
Kyle
we can-
Rasmussen is actually
we can
my
edit it.
Pathfinder group also. So
Yeah,
we're
so
still cool.
again, yeah, even further, like I work with Kyle and Vitriol, and Scott used to be me and Scott and Kyle were all in Those Who Lie Beneath together, and then me and Kyle kind of got something going on, and then Kyle got into Magic cards, and then Pathfinder. So him and Theo are now buddies. So yeah, there's basically like 5 of us that all just work off each other with really nerdy shit.
What class are you?
I am a half-orc blood rager.
Oh,
Yeah, it's awesome.
is that
Rager.
a subclass of
Of a
warrior?
barbarian. Yeah, it's tight.
We don't have to go there right now.
No, we really shouldn't, but we can talk about that later. Yeah.
What level are you?
Post-it note.
I would just hit level 4.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so metal and stuff, right, guys? Music or whatever. Yeah.
Bands.
Yeah.
Music.
So we talked about influences, but what have you guys been listening to lately? I want to know what you guys have been listening to.
I was actually
Wayfair.
just today. Well, yeah, right before.
Velaraas.
But
The other
I found.
The one from Denver.
yeah.
There's another Wayfarers, like a DJ in the UK.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Wayfarer,
Wayfarers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
New Job for Cowboy.
Oh, I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, that I mean, there's just a shitty YouTube quality version of the full album that I listened to today. It's awesome. Speaking of bass parts, where the
Yeah,
guys,
no, I've
it
checked
is
it
just
out.
right, like it's right up there.
Bass is
the
all-
whole
It's funny.
time.
I've paid attention to Job for a Cowboy for so long. They've always had like really good musicians in the band, but I feel like every record, time and time again, they just can't put together like complete songs. It's always got like this riff soup issue
I would definitely
where you can
bring
kind
up
of
that,
pour out any 10 riffs across the album and
Yeah.
call that a song. And like, I mean, they're amazing musicians and stuff.
His,
So how
his
about-
views
but-
are not necessarily shared
By the time we see
But
the
yeah.
show, the Ebola will have us all.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
No,
I
I
think
totally
they're definitely
agree.
talented guys and stuff, and I don't mean any disrespect and everything, but they've never really done it for me. But I do
Yeah.
still check in on each record that they put out, and yeah, the new bass work is incredible on it. For the 2 songs that I checked out,
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, they definitely do the like 30-second to a minute long solo in every song. You know, where it's like which is awesome.
The choir
no
comes in
problem
and
with
goes, "Oh!"
I mean, it's not. I wasn't.
Those
can't make the
orchestra
sound.
hits.
Yeah.
Might as well just.
"Oh!"
Yeah, the choir, the angelic choir.
Yeah.
That's what needs to come in.
Yeah,
I
they have
think
no
that's the
problem
next
with that.
step.
Yeah. Some bands are already doing that.
Yeah.
Just get your
Flush
pad with
Apocalypse.
one button to hit it.
Demon.
Yeah, it's been done. Demu did it.
Yeah.
Reminds
What-
me of Children of Bodom.
What did
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me think. That Job for a Cowboy. Been listening to Consider the Source. Have you heard them?
Oh, no.
They're like a weird sci-fi fusion-y prog instrumental
I
kind of.
can get into that.
Prefixes.
Oh, instrumental?
Yeah.
No, I'm on the fuck out, yeah.
It's
Almost guaranteed, yeah. I just can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold my interest
Yeah,
easily.
no,
Russian Circles is like the only instrumental band I've
Really?
ever been able to listen to for a long time.
yeah, that's interesting because
Yeah.
I feel like they would be harder to get into.
Yeah, I know,
you
it's weird, yeah.
Because they're like
It's probably because you saw them live.
very.
Maybe, yeah, I did see them live,
yeah.
and that was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Garrett,
I was gonna say an instrumental band.
you can. I won't
band.
be mad at you.
Tisk.
Skill summit.
Animals.
Okay,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
Saw
watching a
them
lot
live,
of
too. That was cool.
Matt Garska's renditions of their older stuff, and it's absolutely incredible. I don't know if you checked it out, but he comes with a really good like fusion approach. Maybe not fusion, but just like well-trained musician.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, takes every single part, and I feel like he's like improving even.
That's cool.
And it gives it kind of a, I don't know, some people say a jam band feel, but I just think it adds to the music, makes it that much better and interesting, because you'll see one show and he'll play it a little bit different than when you saw him live.
That's cool.
Do you like that? When improv style or?
I love it if they do it right. Like
Yeah.
obviously, if you're playing certain kinds of stuff, people want to hear that feel that they always hear a drum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna replace something though, it's got to be tasteful, and that's why improv's so dangerous. A lot of people don't know how to do that, especially in metal or like simpler styles of metal. But once you go into more like jazz or like instrumental bands, they know how to pull that off.
Yeah.
They're trained, you know.
Well, guitars are kind of a different thing. I feel like it's expert mode when you like can just improv like live, when a lot of the parts are, you know.
Frederick Thorndahl. Every, from Meshuggah, every one of his solos is different
Improv,
live.
yeah.
I'm just like,
Yeah, I just like to
sounds
be.
stressful.
It's mostly just because I don't do like I could do that, but I don't
Yeah.
just because I like the. It's just. It's pretty good when you do improv for me, but usually like I can if I sit down and write a solo like part by part, it just flows better typically.
Yeah.
And also goes from like before the solo and after the solo like flows into those parts better also.
Yeah.
Colin improvises on a lot of shit, but I think that's because he just doesn't really remember what he did.
I remember I have like an outline of some spots I want to like hit, but the filler can be lots of fun stuff.
Which
I feel like
I
you
think
get
that's-
bored easily. from
Well,
playing the
on
same
certain
thing.
songs, I do get bored on certain songs, so I'm just like, it's gonna get real crazy tonight, and I'm just gonna do a dive bomb for 4 seconds,
Yeah.
and like stare at some kid in the front until he gets weirded out. Just, why is he still looking at me? Yeah. Shake. Yeah, I like to shake my hand around my region towards children.
We've got it on tape, ladies and
Yep.
gentlemen.
Just
No
mad
big deal. I
dog.
work at a school. Don't tell.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, some solos improvised for sure. But improvisation is how I like write the ones that I end up staying like the same or
You
recording.
record it,
Yeah.
and then then
Yeah,
learn
that's
it
that's
kinda.
usually how the solo thing works. Is like you come up with parts just from kind of just messing around and like freeballing stuff, and then you go like, oh, that's cool. You can work that in and like put that at the beginning.
So
and
then
put
you
this
find
part
your,
in the
all your little ooh that's cools from like 18 different times of playing it in practice
second.
and
Yeah.
put them all into one
Filter it, boil it down.
one's
Frankenstein.
one Mecha Godzilla of a solo.
Yeah, it's like assembling Exodia basically.
Ooh. I don't-
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
That one.
Maybe one person who watches this will know what that means.
And then they'll go, this
worth it.
band is
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
Their references
Like
are
your favorite-
awesome.
It's so good.
Favorite band.
Yeah, the music's okay, but the references are impeccable. That's what's important.
I mean, all you need is memes and references nowadays, and you're a good band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very popular.
Totally.
So, but speaking of of music industry stuff, we had like a really good talk yesterday with Kyle from Numbers, just about the state of the industry, both metal and otherwise.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah, we're just we're the general consensus was that it's kind of in a state of upheaval, and it's just changing.
Yeah.
I mean, the people really in the industry know like what it's gonna look like in like
Right.
5 years, 10 years. I mean,
It seems like for like right now, some of them are kind of trying to apply the old model to what things are now.
right.
And that's not really working. But I feel like it's kind of in between things right now. Like
Yeah.
it hasn't really.
It's been a weird.
I
I don't know what
think,
it's gonna be. They haven't figured out how to monetize like.
yeah, it's just it's never gonna be like mid '90s or something where everyone's like, I'm gonna go buy that CD when it comes out.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the only way I can hear it.
That's
is-
never
Right.
gonna happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never gonna happen again, and I'm okay with that.
It'll be hipsters bringing it back.
Yeah.
I mean, with vinyl and stuff. It's
Yeah.
kinda
Vinyl
like-
is cool. I
Yeah.
think you really just have to be diverse in how you give people music.
Yeah.
I think that having vinyls is cool. Like a certain sort of people are gonna love that always. Physical CDs are always gonna be cool. Someone's always gonna want to pick that up at a show or like order it. But I think bundling stuff together is a big thing now too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like order it and we'll give you a
pre-orders.
shirt and a CD. You know.
A basket of fruit.
Yeah,
Basket.
an apple a day.
Fruitcake.
But I think the interesting thing is like Spotify and like Pandora,
Streaming service.
like all that streaming stuff is, I don't know how I feel about it. It's like it's so good. It's like everyone knows your song, and you don't make minimum wage.
You made like a couple pennies off of it.
Yeah.
Neat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane how small of an amount.
Yeah.
they
Did you guys
pay
see that
out.
chart where they broke it down?
Yeah.
It was very depressing.
And
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
And
The
then I
alt
saw
press
this
one.
thing because like Taylor Swift now is gonna be like the first platinum album,
Yeah.
Of
but
the
she
year.
pulled all of her stuff off of Spotify, all her back catalog, everything, and she's done it before. But then in a couple months, like after the album is sold a lot, she'll put it back on, which
Right.
I think is smart.
Yeah, we
I-
should be
I
more like
do.
Taylor Swift.
Would-
Take a
Yeah.
lesson from her
It's
business,
not a bad idea.
business
No, yeah,
power
for
team
sure.
or whatever.
Yeah, that was crazy to hear. That like that was like up until that was getting close, there was like no albums in a
Yeah.
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 It's been at like 700,000
Yeah.
range and stuff.
But so it's just a transition time. But I like people being able to download stuff. I like people paying what they think it's worth.
Mhm.
Because some people are always going to be like, oh, I can just download it for free, and they're going
Right.
to do that.
Yeah.
But then you'll get people who are like, I love this. I'm going to give these guys $40 or
Yeah.
something, you know,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
cool.
And then more underground and experimental metal. I mean, there never really has been money in
Yeah.
record sales to
Yeah,
begin with.
for sure.
So I mean, going out to shows, buying merch has always been what bands have survived off of. But I noticed when I was out there that clubs require so much money to run their establishment, and they got to pay their insurance and the electricity and all that kind of shit, and hire people to run sound or whatever. That they were paying bands jack shit. So if the band's not making monies on sales and they're not making money on shows, then I just see bands becoming more regional,
Yeah.
where it's
Right.
going to be ridiculous to tour worldwide or even nationwide. You probably just West Coast bands will just tour on the West Coast and East Coast stay over there because it's just so fucking expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
when me
sell
and
that
Scott were
merch.
on the road, we started the tour in Georgia and we only played one date, like local night, routing date on the way out there. So it's like you got to drive all the way across the country with no fucking money. And then when you're out on the West Coast, I mean, you're doing these 16-hour drives between shows, and you're only making $150.
Yeah.
And you got five people, with a merch guy that have to eat.
Yeah.
It's really rough out there getting started. But once you get the ball rolling, there's a little more. Things kind of go tenfold as you get more respect and you earn more money. And there's also you have more merch to sell and stuff. But
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah,
it's-
getting started is just so fucking impossible. It
Dude,
seems.
getting the ball rolling is seriously the biggest fucking battle almost.
Mhm.
And then if you let the ball start to slow down when you come in between tours, then
It's
you're
hard
like,
to get it rolling.
oh shit.
One might even say that it's a Sisyphean struggle.
You're basically
Bum, 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 bum.
$10 word.
Whackity schmackity do.
Just plug in like all these like. I just put tons of noises.
You need a
Yeah.
sound
Record
effects
scratch, yeah.
We gotta work on our radio presence here.
Our radio personality.
Get
Yeah, we need
Real
the guy.
close.
Oh, I
we
thought
need
you
the
were
guy
talking about,
making
like-
the sound effects.
I thought you were talking about like getting plays on the radio.
Oh no.
I was like, that's
A radio's a thing?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
What
Yeah.
is this radio?
That's why I reacted with such ridicule. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
popped a leak.
Yeah, it's like sounds like
Steam started shooting
escaping.
out.
Yeah.
But like, so speaking of just getting the ball rolling,
Mm-hmm.
like what would be your guys' advice? Because that definitely is the hardest part.
Don't quit.
Yeah, just don't quit. Yeah.
I think a lot of bands just like go, man, oh, we did it for 6 months or a year,
Yeah.
and we're done.
You just have
Yeah.
to keep doing it. Yeah, it sucks. There's a lot of things that suck about it, but it's just if that's what you want to do, you just have to keep at it.
Perseverance.
Yeah, and I mean, not like we've had a huge amount of success or anything, but I mean, people that I've talked to that have, I mean, that's one of their pieces
Yeah.
of advice. Also,
Yeah.
it's like if I had quit 5 years ago when I was, super flat broke and it was super hard, I would not have been where I'm actually to the point I am now where I'm actually doing stuff to actually be successful with it.
There is this trap that I have found myself in with many bands in the past, and that's where you write all your songs, you start playing gigs, you're getting all your friends and family and starting to make some fans and stuff, and they're coming out to shows buying tickets, but then you're playing the same damn songs all the time, and sometimes even like the same exact set, and people just kind of start falling off. They're like, I've seen you so many times, I don't really care anymore. So then you kind of get to this point where it's back to the drawing board. You write more songs, and then you start going at it again. And if you don't get picked up, then everyone starts to fade off. And it's just like this endless cycle of just like ups and downs. And the ups never get as good as like your first go round. Like when you have that momentum the first time out, you got to keep that rolling at all costs. Slowing it down member changes is another thing that's really fucking plagues bands.
Well, what about an unsigned band and releasing stuff to stay fresh? Like, you guys have kind of like released stuff slowly, but
yeah, we were trying to like shop the album for a little bit, but that didn't work out so we're just gonna
there's a shit ton of competition.
We got like zero response.
So I think we just want to get it out there so people can hear it, and then maybe someone who has some pull will hear it. And then we'll go from there, and because we have almost a whole another album of stuff written already.
Yeah, and we're super excited to get recording on that shit, because like the songs we have now, like we like them and they're good, but like I really feel like the stuff we're writing now is way better. So it's just there's a certain element of like progression that just has to keep happening. Otherwise, these things will happen where you're gonna get stuck in a rut. But as long as you're like writing good music, like I think like you're always going somewhere. Like as long as you're improving as a musician and as a songwriter and stuff, it's worth it to keep at it.
Well, and relying on the industry to really go anywhere is a trap that I found myself in, where I was so strongly trying to get my band signed that it was no longer fun. I just wasn't having fun with music, and I was just stressing out all the time. So at the end of the day, I mean, I think it's way more important to enjoy what you're doing in front of very few people than to hate what you're doing in front of big audiences and touring and stuff. So, that's just something that I finally got to, where it's just like I need to have fun with music, or stop pursuing that the big signed band thing that just doesn't really exist anymore. I mean, like the industry is just not what it used to be, and getting signed now doesn't mean shit. So many bands get signed, so many of them are terrible, and the good ones are fucking covered up. And then
there's a lot of really bad signed bands.
There are.
So have you guys noticed that?
We were talking about that the other day.
Bad to us, good to 12-year-olds.
Yeah,
I call them t-shirt bands or haircut bands.
There's one or the other. Yeah, there's two different categories.
Not to say like good for them, I guess, but I think we've always come at music by, we don't make music to, at least I don't, to be like, hey, check me out. It's like, I would do this if no one heard it anyway, and if I just played it. But it's cool if people like it. I mean, I like that.
I did completely cut
But if you don't like it, I'm still going to do it.
Yeah, that time I actually cut you off. Sorry. Were you saying something?
I don't remember. It's pretty common.
Sorry about
Where
that.
are we?
It's hard to have an interview with 4 people. Like, I feel like Scott has not said anything.
He talked for a minute. He's had enough.
Yeah. He said his piece. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you interrupted him saying, I've had my...
You're going back in the box as soon as this is done. You've had way too much free time. He is all crazy. I'm so sorry.
He's the strong silent.
We never bring him out.
Yeah.
Back in the box.
This is a train wreck.
Well, unless you got another question, we got time for one more.
Una más.
Ask it to
That's
Scott
French.
first.
What?
For one more.
Ask Scott a question.
Okay.
Directly.
Scott.
Very personal.
What was the most painful experience?
Any or
Hey.
Sorry.
No hinting. Okay, well, yeah, so having toured and everything like that. having seen that part of music life, what do you have, like, kind of like some road tips or like definite do's and don'ts for like just being on the road and surviving with a bunch of fucking sweaty assholes.
Cue the graphic. It's like a car drives across and the tire track spells.
Yeah.
Scott's do's and don'ts for the road. Dust.
Man.
You can let him answer it.
Can I be your graphic guy?
Kidding. Basically, just keeping your cool as much as you can. If something's pissing you off, you gotta realize, like, the people you're in a band with are your bros, and you always gotta be respectful, even if someone isn't being that respectful to you at the time. Maybe they don't mean to, you know, you're fucking thousands of miles away from home. Probably grumpy, tired, sleepy, hungry, smell like shit. You know, not drinking.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll fuck shit up pretty good.
Yeah.
Blowing your money right off the bat and then starving the rest of the way through tour. If you
Yeah.
haven't anything saved up, that sucks.
Taco Bell's cheap.
Yeah, Taco Bell's cheap.
Oh, we know.
Diarrhea
Yeah.
really cheap.
Yeah.
But
And if you
Diarrhea
haven't-
comes free, actually.
No charge.
Yeah, Taco Bell's really fun because, I mean, thankfully they're open that late at night. But when you leave the club, like, there's nothing else open except the Taco Bell. But you have a trailer, so you have to stop in the parking lot and drop your trailer,
Oh,
go
man.
through the drive-through.
That's
And when you're in a band with,
The saddest trailer drop, winding it down.
but then and then when you're in a band with vegans or vegetarians, they will always guaranteed fuck your order up. And you won't realize until you got the trailer hooked back up. So then you got to drop it again and go back through the drive-through a second time. Oh yeah,
that's just the worst. Yeah.
It's actually kind of fun.
It sounds like a
get to a
blast.
point of,
It
like,
was so fun to
delirium.
take that trailer off and put it back on.
It's just fun to see people get so fucking frustrated.
Simple things.
I just want
You're
my
gonna work at
beef
Taco Bell
nacho.
for the rest of your life if
Yeah.
you can't get my fucking order right.
Man.
You're worthless.
Don't get it between a band and their Taco Bell.
Yeah, man.
So what we're saying is Taco Bell, we'll whore ourselves out. So we
Yeah.
don't have to take the trailer
Dude,
off.
we should get a sponsorship.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like Call of
They were
Duty, just be
doing it.
Mountain Dew and Doritos.
They used to do a thing where like they gave bands like
$500.
yeah like a
Taco Bell.
card.
Taco
Oh
Bell?
yeah, I remember
Yeah.
that.
$500
We
for
tried
Taco
to. We
Bell?
wanted to
It
get
was
it.
500 tacos.
You can eat so many fucking tacos.
Dude, straight butt plastic for fucking
Butt plastic?
yeah. I don't know who coined the term, but one of the guys was talking about.
You
butt
just did
plastic.
trademark. Bing.
Butt shrapnel.
That sounds horrific.
One of the guys from Knights of the Abyss, man, they're always talking about butt plastic and Taco Bell.
That is a name I've not heard in a while.
Yeah.
Knights of the Abyss.
Should have them on the
Yeah.
Abyssal Lair.
Can we just do this for like 3
Man,
hours?
just-
Is that cool?
Yeah, this is a long episode.
I mean,
No, I know. We went for 2 hours yesterday, and I realized what I was getting myself into halfway through.
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna have to watch this like 3 times.
Yeah.
It's gonna-
You'll be sick of looking at our dumb faces.
Faces.
impossible.
Your faces.
Your feces.
All right, well, we can go ahead and
Feces.
call it there, as much as we don't want to, and that's Velaraas.
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 You can say it fast. You can say it slow.
Velaraas.
Velaraas.
You can say it like that if
Can
you
you
think
roll
you're
your
cool.
R's?
Velaraas.
There you go.
Velaraas.
That just makes it sound like a Spanish.
Yeah.
Ooh, and also, no animals were harmed in the making of this.
There's just an adorable Chihuahua puppy over there.
There's a
It's
tiny little. Ooh, sorry. He goes back in the box with
Those,
Scott.
those are yips of joy.
like- yeah.
Any final
Those are
words?
joyous, yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
It's
it's been a
fun.
Thanks for
pleasure.
coming.
Yeah.
It's been a long
It's-
time coming. I know.
It's
We've
real
talked
fun.
like many times. Like,
Yeah.
we've been like, all right, when's it actually
We'll do it again if you
happening?
want us to have like a serious conversation.
No.
That's
Yeah.
never
Business
happened.
suits.
Good, yeah, it's
It
better.
got serious.
It's better.
It got
Yeah.
serious.
About as serious as it'll get.
No,
Thanks.
we got some good serious. All right.
Butt plastic.
Well,
That's
sweet.
Butt plastic is serious business.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for
Actually.
having us.